Welcome students, welcome for the class. So today we will learn class B type amplifier. See, this is a class B type amplifier. This is an ideal configuration. This configuration is called push-pull configuration. This is transistor T1, it is PNP. Actually PNP transistor is given like this. This is PNP. Emitter, base, collector. This is PNP. Okay, so it is emitter is given in this direction and this is NPN. It is emitter, base, collector, collector, base, emitter. This is collector, this is collector, this is base, this is emitter. This is emitter. So first you have to understand. First, you have to understand the working principle of this amplifier. First, you have to understand the basic working principle of this amplifier. Basic working principle is here. You see the polarity of the input signal. This is input AC signal. The polarity is the same polarity is applied for the transistor T1 and T2. Same polarity is applied for the transistor T1 and T2. Same polarity we have applied for the transistor T1 and T2. Both the transistors are in same polarity that we have applied in case of T1 and T2. So in case of positive half cycle, the polarity we use, in case of positive half cycle, we use positive polarity plus polarity. In case of positive half cycle, this plus polarity will go to the base of PNP transistor and the base of NPN transistor. Now in case of PNP, this is the PNP, PNP. This is emitter, base, collector. So base, this is PNP. Now the base is connected with positive. Here the base is connected with negative. So for the first positive cycle, PNP transistor, base N is connected with positive. Here in case of NPN, base P is connected with positive. So emitter base junction is reverse bias, because this base is connected with positive. So emitter base junction is forward bias in case of PNP. Emitter base junction is reverse bias in case of PNP. This is emitter base junction. Emitter and base junction. This junction. Emitter base junction is reverse bias in case of PNP transistor. But in case of NPN transistor, P is connected with positive. P is connected with positive means emitter base junction. This is base. This is emitter. Emitter base junction, this is emitter. Emitter base junction is connected with emitter base junction is forward bias. P is positive connected and base is connected with positive like this. This is NPN. This is NPN transistor. NPN. Emitter, base, collector. P is connected with positive. P is connected with positive in case of first positive half cycle. So emitter base junction, this is emitter, this is base, this is collector. So emitter base junction is forward bias in case of positive half cycle. So in case of negative half cycle, NPN transistor, in case of negative half cycle, NPN transistor, P is with negative, so emitter base junction will be reverse bias. P is with negative. In case of negative half cycle, P is with negative, so emitter base junction is reverse bias. PNP transistor, N is negative, N is connected with negative, so emitter base junction is forward bias. In case of negative half cycle, emitter base junction is forward bias in case of negative half cycle. So you see the transistor T1 and T2, bias in positive cycle, bias in negative cycle. T1 is reverse bias, T1 is this transistor, T1 is reverse bias, here the emitter base junction is reverse bias, PNP transistor, and in negative half cycle, in positive half cycle, T1 is reverse bias. In case of this is T1, this is T1, this is T2, again this is T2, this is T2, this is T1. So positive half cycle, T1 is reverse bias. In negative half cycle, T1 is forward bias. In case of positive half cycle, transistor T2 is forward bias. In case of negative half cycle, transistor T2 is reverse bias. Transistor T2 is reverse bias. So you have understood the biasing of the transistor. Now we have to understand how we are calculating the efficiency. So in case of power amplifier, you know input power is AC power and output power collected from the load. This is the load. This is the load. Output power collected from the load. This is DC power. So input AC power is Vrms square by RL. That means VCC by root 2 whole square by RL. So VCC square by 2 RL. So Vm equal to your VCC, Im equal to Vm by RL, and that's equal to VCC by RL. So DC power is PDC equal to 2 by pi into VCC into Im. Why? Because this acts like a full wave rectifier. This acts output is in case of DC, the output acts like a full wave rectifier. So PDC value will be V average into Im. V average equal to twice Vm by pi, Vm equal to your VCC, so 2 by pi VCC. V average equal to twice Vm by pi into Im equal to your VCC by RL. Im equal to Vm by RL, Vm equal to your VCC, so it is VCC by RL. So total DC power is 2 by pi into VCC square by RL. So percentage efficiency is PAC by PDC. So VCC square by 2 RL divided by 2 by pi into VCC square by RL into hundreds. So it is pi by 4 into 100, 78.5%. It is quite high efficiency compared to Class A amplifier. Class A amplifier maximum efficiency was 50% for transformer couple and 25% for series fed. Now it is 78.5% for Class B amplifier, because you can you don't have any doubts regarding this. DC power is V average into Im. V average is the full wave rectifier value, full wave rectifier output value. A rectifier converts AC signal into pure smooth DC signal. AC signal, a rectifier converts AC signal to pure smooth ripple free DC signal if we apply at the load the the capacitor. If we apply at the load at a capacitor, so we will get ripple free smooth DC signal. Now here we are using two transistors. In full wave rectifier we use two diodes for getting a better efficiency. Here you are using two transistors. So one transistor is on, one transistor is off. In like T1 transistor, in positive half cycle it is reverse bias. So T2 transistor positive half cycle it is forward bias. So one transistor on, one transistor off. Like remember the full wave rectifier I have taught you. In one bias, for one particular polarity, one diode will be on, one diode will be off. Like this same concept we have applied here. one transistor is on, other transistor is off. So output DC power will equal to V average into IM. V average equal to twice Vm by pi, Vm equal to VCC. Actually V average equal to twice Vm by pi, twice Vm by pi. So Vm equal to your VCC, Vm equal to your VCC, twice Vm by pi, Vm equal to your VCC. Twice Vm by pi equal to means Vm equal to your VCC. VCC, that means 2 by pi into VCC. So output DC power is the average voltage into maximum current. Average voltage is twice Vm by pi, that means 2 VCC by pi. This output we obtain. This output we have obtained from full wave rectifier DC value output. What we have obtained from our calculation. I have already displayed you the calculation of full wave rectifier regarding VRMS, VABG, form factor, efficiency, ripple, percentage ripple, everything. So same concept, we have applied one transistor on, one transistor off for one particular polarity. Suppose in positive half cycle, transistor T1 is on, so transistor T1 is off because positive polarity is applied to N terminal, N part of the PNP transistor. So transistor P1, the transistor P1, T1 is off because emitter base junction is reverse bias. Same polarity, positive polarity is applied to the P part of the NPN transistor. So emitter base junction of NPN transistor is forward bias because we have applied positive polarity to P semiconductor part of the NPN transistor. So P is positive, so emitter base junction is forward bias. This P is positive, emitter base junction is forward bias. This emitter base junction is forward bias. So one transistor on T1 in reverse bias and T2 is forward bias. In the next half cycle, T1 is forward bias because minus polarity is connected with N part of the PNP transistor. So T1 is on, T1 is forward bias, T2 is in reverse bias. So the concept of full wave rectifier we have applied, like one diode is on, so one other diode is off. The same concept we have applied in case of class B amplifier. So this is the corresponding calculation of power efficiency in case of class B amplifier. Now the problem that we have faced in our class B amplifier, that is called crossover distortion. Why it happens? You see, in one half cycle T1 is on, the next half cycle T2 is on, T1 off. T2 is on, T1 off. Why it has? So what is crossover distortion and why it happens? The reason is when one transistor switches from one to another, then at that particular time, one particular transistor does not start or stop exactly. If T1 is on, T2 is off, then T2 is on, T1 is off. Between these two incidents, there is a small time lag. There is a small time lag between one transistor off and one transistor on and another off. So due to this small time lag, a flat band or a dead band appears at the zero crossing level. See that zero crossing level? A dead band or a flat band appears at the zero crossing level. Due to the zero crossing level, a distortion happens at the output. This is called crossover distortion. This happens due to the time lag between, due to the small time lag between T1 on and T2 off, then T2 on and T1 off. T1 and T2 cannot be switched off and on simultaneously. T1 and T2 cannot be switched on and off simultaneously at the same time. That means one particular transistor cannot start or stop exactly at the same time when other transistor is off or on. both the transistor cannot be switched on and off simultaneously. There is a small time lag between one transistor on and another transistor off. Okay, if T2 is off, T1 is on, T2 is on, T1 is off. So between these incidents there is a time lag. There is a small time delay between T1 is on and T2 is on. So this, due to this delay, or due to this small delay, or due to this small time lag, a flat band or a dead band appears at the zero crossing level. This is the zero crossing level. It is called crossover distortion. How it can be eliminated? We can use class AB amplifier, or we can use class C amplifier to eliminate crossover distortion. Class AB amplifier is nothing. We can apply here in the RL, we can apply an additional resistance to eliminate the class AB and to eliminate the crossover distortion in case of class AB amplifier. We can apply an additional shunt resistance at the load terminal. So we can, that shunt resistance, due to that shunt resistance, the time lag can be stopped. The time lag or the small delay can be stopped, and crossover distortion can be eliminated. So this is the concept of class B amplifier. Remember, one transistor T1 and one transistor T2 cannot start or stop exactly at the same time. Due to this there is a small time delay or time lag between one transistor on, another transistor off. Due to this time delay or time lag, a flat band or a dead band appears at the zero crossing level. And you have understood the working principle. One transistor on due to the one transistor off due to the emitter base junction is reverse bias, so other transistor is on due to the emitter base junction is forward bias. For one particular cycle, for other half of the cycle, same incident happens. One transistor is off due to the emitter base junction is reverse bias, other transistor is on due to the emitter base junction is forward bias. So you have understood the efficiency calculation, you have understood this table, this small table you have understood. So particularly you have understood everything. Now shortly after this video, in the next video, we will discuss some problems on class B amplifier. I will show you two different problems, how we are calculating the efficiency of class B amplifier, that you need to know. So in the next shortly after this video, in the next video, I will teach you how to solve the problems regarding class B amplifier.